myself stole from anywhere. Starting with who I am a little bit, the way I'm addressing my wardrobe. Wrote out chapter 5 Theta Kappa, International Honor Society. So I've earned my Greek letters a little bit. Public Relations Committee Vice and Prayers. Pastime as well, Hallmark Committee prayers me. Honors and Action Committee prayers. Currently active on the College Projects Committee. And standing above my label pin here, the Philatelic Society, established in 1928. Correspondent Circle 80, thanks, I love them. Alright, in Minnesota, in North America. The Tallahassee Community College, Chapter Sigma Alpha Pi, as well. Southern New Hampshire University, Chapter Sigma Alpha Pi Logistics Coordinator currently. Talents Market Advisory Board, TCC. Running the Human Law Show on Blog Talk Radio, of course. I'm a broadcasting journalism major. My sophomore year currently, and I'm certified in media studies and at a universal institution elsewhere from where I'm currently studying video and broadcasting and journalism. But aside of that, radio personality, sure, played 4 or 5 records, self-produced to 102.3, cumulus station around here. Those are heroes of mine. I'm a musician, don't care. Okay, so anyway, about the fraternity, those who want to know more about corresponding among the men with the ring, it's a good deal to be able to talk a little bit about it. In North America, because we are studying sociology a lot more, psychology is a primal field, but other way as in the world, I would really like to be very rare about what I'm going to say. Because just the urge of press and all of the propaganda, it's not going to make as good of a healthy meal for me at the end of the day as I would like. So I'm going to try and treat all of the fraternity as fair as possible, as well as provide public service for broadcasting live. My hometown right now, I'm in Tallahassee. And looking around at the scenery, the atmosphere, we've got a lot of our demise valuable version of fraternity works. If you're not really much of an outdoor or explorer, for someone who could fit very well within the goal of an AA degree, brother, then it's autumn, or you look outdoors, you take a little check on the weather. We're a little bit later. It's actually a little closer to winter. And that great little vibe area, if you will, was good to go along with it. Quarter to a fraternity, for example. It's very quick, fast, and deliberate, you see. And it's always hard to do a lot of explaining outside of just a basic curriculum of education. Whereas many are wanting something more exclusive or something explosive, for some reason what we've given, it's not been quite enough. Especially for a new generation of Freemasons in search of a Masonic light. I have to explain my personal take, really. It's a difference in we look in a fraternity of a little old illustration I want to share too. For my older respect, I don't think it's going to be revealing too much. Especially if you don't understand how exactly to apply it, what it has to do in regard to a skill or a trade. So anyway, this diagram is going to help me more or less explain what I'm trying to say. Okay, what is going on here is a fraternity, right? You can see several different people already arranged those symbols on the side of the room right there. Yeah, I didn't know if they were. And right here, we'll be in real life. We'd be right inside of a ceremony room. We'd be learning exactly how important it is to work with others while they work with you. Right, with us. In other words, sworn oath, my friends. We are a fraternity organization in the first beginning, before it came to architectural structures, right? But if we look here inside of a construction, we can see assembled many gentlemen, right? And each one is playing an individual role. Obviously, we see in the logical space of the room, there's much unoccupied space, right? Except for your today modern alchemist, okay? That's mine. I like my alchemist it's in salt of and investigations to do to most of all. Or they do psychology and sociology or community actually, or more an ethnographical approach to it currently. But here in the fraternal ordinarios, these gentlemen are distinguished in their own right, you understand. You can see it on understanding. But let's look a little back to the sublime of it. How did we each get into a position we can sit comfortably in the fraternity? Right? Inside and outside. Right? I think this is what the questions lead to. Okay? Each one has already come into the idea that there's a such thing as becoming better as a person. And they've decided that the fraternity has something because of its level of popularity that can instrumentally help increase these chances, right? To somehow empower the inner mind will. And so each one of them have went through their fraternal experience and become what it is that's to our own attributes, to our own self-worth. And this is why it's very evidently hard to separate or destroy that fraternity, right? The questions I assume are directed to try and be an attempt to somehow demise the attitude of us. But there's a lot more intricate experience to us, to what it is to each one of us, that makes that impossible. And so, to the mystery, I don't know what it is, but it's as simple as we're playing a football team, a basketball game. There's a team and it has its organization, but each player is assigned to a position. Each one's got to play a role in it. And yet in Sublime we can watch many mistakes take place, but we all know in statistics there's someone keeping record of each and every single move. Commentators can give me a piece. Even if it's not right, they're right there to deliberate what exactly moment by moment's taking place. And I assume our press is that way in the world today, as seen as it comes to our Freemasonry. Nonetheless, we are each our own individual as I take aspect towards our fraternal aspects. Or I say aspirations of those who maybe just asking because they truly want to know something that's going to help them alleviate a little bit of stress to get in it. But this diagram is going to help me show. Of course, you can look and see there's many people in one building and there's a fraternity, but that does not mean they're all subject to be victims of anyone's destructive intent. Right? So, each one's come in. The building's a real building in the sublime, yeah. Right? And each one has been benefited for coming in because it exists already, right? And only we know to the great creator where it's all come from, okay? All right, so we can see easily in this particular document an illustration of a partially assembled lords. We could say it's partial or could be complete. It depends on what agenda is. Maybe it calls for one or two, only of the third degrees could be meeting. Maybe it's the first to the third. Maybe it's only the first. Maybe it's only the second. We could have 200 men in a quarter. Or we could have 2 to 12 of them. It depends, right? And so much is to be deliberated a lot negative to when you walk right by in the large sheet and you see how many calls in a lot, does it matter, right? Many don't understand with the perimeter monitor. After all of the years we have to our fame or popularity, there's no way you can just come to it. It starts at 1 cent, 1 inch per square centimeter at negative 30 centimeters per dollar scored per inch. It's how we afford to do charity. No pun intended. So I'll show you like another illustration. See, this one's a little one here. Shows this mini already. That's the fraternal aspect. Let's look more up to Mason, which is what the questions are mostly about. I just assume it to be directed to the fraternity, but many want to know questions specifically about Mason. And the difference is that a Mason's a Mason because of the fraternity, but the Mason's not a Mason as a man until the man has decided to become better within the fraternity, or actually the title of a Mason, someone who works in a fraternity. Under these ancient customs, ancient rules we use, ancient traditions and rituals, they all pertain to men only. Within that, there is a Mason possible, but the Mason is a pending in the beginning anyway. And so the question about a Mason is a difficult one to answer. It's better to ask a specific question so you can then speak to the mind behind the Mason. He's a Mason by the fraternity, no other way. Trust me. Yes, sir. And so here's one of the guys. Similar figure to what we saw earlier, illustration early on. Not a difference at all in the human aspect at all. And so the Sublime is playing a trick on people about construction and architecture, and it's quite silly, right? Although interesting for a new generation or just our innocent children who have no idea what it's about. They just want to enjoy it as it is, right? So hopefully this will help you, and if not, you can check another one of my episodes out after I drop another emergency one on you from Scotland to call to play your motto.